Hello everybody, I'm NerdyGuy, and welcome to the first part of my new series called Attacked for Being Women. Now, the point of this series will be to look at feminists who constantly use the argument of I'm only being attacked because I'm a woman, or I'm only being attacked because I'm a feminist, basically the same argument. But feminists often use this to excuse themselves from the criticism they're getting, and most of the times, if not all, they're falsely using this to escape from real, legit criticism. And on this first video, I'm going to look at the queen bee of claiming that she's only being attacked for being a woman, Anita Sarkeesian. Now, Anita Sarkeesian, for those of you who doesn't know, is a pop culture critic who 2 years ago started a Kickstarter campaign called Tropes vs. Women in Video Games, and her plan was to make a video series analyzing women's roles in video games. She wanted $6,000, but she got $160,000, which is a lot more than she wanted. So, why is he worth talking about? Well, because she receives a lot of criticisms for things he says. And she claims that, oh no, it's just misogynist, it's just sexist doing this. And she has their fans believing this. Even people like Steve Shives, who is a skeptic, who for some reason can't be skeptic about feminism, believes that, oh, there's no other reason for people to dislike her other than sexism and misogyny. No, screw you, Steve Shives. The fact that you're ignorant about games is not an excuse. You don't say stuff like that. You don't speak if you don't know both sides of the argument. But, you know, I walked in, when first I heard of this, I actually watched her first video with an open mind. Because there are issues with the gaming industry and the community that needs to be addressed. So I was curious to see what she had to say. However, when I watched her video, I got repulsed seeing the things she said, because she lies. Constantly. She misrepresents games, she has an impossible standard for games to fulfill, and tons of other things. I don't get why people don't... Well, most of her fans are not actual gamers, but I don't get why people think she has a point, while gaming magazines constantly write so well about her, because she is a fucking liar. And there's tons of cases where she's been proven to lie. For example, she said, while holding a speech for a class, that I'm not a gamer, I don't like video games. And she says that she doesn't like the violence in video games. But then, in the Kickstarter video, she goes, oh, I'm a gamer, I've been a gamer for a long time. And in an interview, she goes, oh, I still love video games. According to her fans, that's not contradictory, but it is. It's very contradictory. But then she also lies about games she's talking about. For example, Hitman Absolution. She claims that, oh, in Hitman, you're encouraged to kill innocent women and play around with their dead bodies to satisfy some sick, perverse pleasure. No, that's, meanwhile in the real world, that's not what happens. In Hitman Absolution, you're supposed to kill the key target, and there is a scoring system. You get points for hiding bodies and killing the main target, and you lose points for killing people who's not your target, and you lose a shit ton of points for killing innocent people. So, killing the strippers that she does in her video, that is not a good thing to do. The game does not encourage you to do that. The game punishes you for doing that. And as for her play around with their dead bodies, in Hitman you can drag dead bodies in your arms and legs, and you do this to hide the bodies and put them out of sight from guards and policemen. How can somebody please explain to me how that is playing around with their dead bodies to satisfy sick, perverse pleasure? Because you do this with both male and female bodies. But Anita Sarkeesian is making it sound like, oh, you're undressing their corpses and fucking them right there on the floor. That's not what happens. She also complains about Watch Dogs, and she shows a scene from Watch Dogs claiming it's a strip club, when it's actually an underground sex trafficking ring that you're there to stop. The bad guys are doing this, and you stop them, and you set those girls free. Oh, the horrible misogyny. And all the other complete bullshit that she talks about, like, oh, also in Watch Dogs. In Watch Dogs you can encounter a random crime, and your task is to stop it. And one of the many crimes you can encounter is a domestic dispute, where a guy threatens to kill his girlfriend because she's trying to leave him. And the game tells you to intervene and stop this from happening. Now, if you can stop it from happening without her getting hurt, then you get an even bigger bonus. And if you can stop it from happening without her getting hurt, and without killing the perpetrator, then you get the biggest bonus possible. But according to Anita Sarkeesian, no, you're encouraged to just watch as this happen. You can intervene, but you also have the option to just watch. So, just because you have the option doesn't mean the game encourages you to. When everything on the screen tells you, intervene, stop this from happening, how is that encouragement? Just like Hitman, how is it encouragement if the game punishes you for doing it? If Anita Sarkeesian thinks that encouragement is the same thing as punishment, then she would make the worst parent ever, and I hope she never breeds. So yeah, like I've already pointed out, she lies about video games constantly. And she's also too dumb to understand satire. For example, in Red Dead Redemption. There's an achievement in Red Dead Redemption called Dastardly, which you hog-tie a prostitute and leave her on the train tracks so she can get run over by a train. The whole thing is a play on the old classic trope of the evil bad guy with a top hat and a mustache, who twirls his mustache as the maiden lays on the train tracks screaming for help, and the valiant hero rides in and saves her. It's a ridiculous thing that's been used so many times, and it's obvious satire towards that. But no, no, it's just about misogyny. There's no other reason why that's there. I mean, really? Really? Are you really so stupid you don't even understand satire when it's right in front of you? I mean, that's almost impressively stupid. So yeah, she lies about video games. She's too stupid to understand satire. And let's see, what next? Oh yeah, the impossible standard. She complained about the Tomb Raider games because Lara Croft has big tits. Pretty valid complaint, because those tits are not necessary. And they're actually a coding error, but in the newer Tomb Raider games, she has smaller tits. Now, you'd think that Anita Sarkeesian would be happy with this, but nope. Because now they removed her femininity. They're trying to make her more masculine to satisfy the male gamers. What the fuck? What does that even mean? And how the fuck can you be upset that she has big tits, and then be upset that he has small tits? That doesn't make sense. That is an impossible standard. No matter what they do, they're in the wrong in your eyes. And the same thing with her whole, like, damsel in distress. If it's a weak character, then it's a damsel in distress. But if it's a strong female character, then it's a fighting fuck toy. Her words, not mine. Which is apparently also bad. I mean, so what's a female character supposed to be? They can't be helpless and they can't be fighting. So, should not be in the video games? No, because then she complains about not having female characters in games. And she is also a complete hypocrite. She likes Joss Whedon's movies, and Joss Whedon likes her videos. I don't see why, because Joss Whedon's movies can go after his movies and TV shows with the exact same criticism as Anita Sarkeesian is using on the video games, in the video game industry. Thunderfoot showed this pretty clearly. Now, I'm a huge Whedon fan. Joss Whedon is awesome. He's made so many good things. I fucking love Firefly. But why can he like her video? I mean, it doesn't make sense to me. And it doesn't make sense to me why she likes his videos when, like Thunderfoot said, they can suffer from the same criticism. And, you know, there's so much other things. I don't have time to bring up all the things she does, but she also made a review of the game Bayonetta, where she claims that Bayonetta is a single mother, which she's not, which indicates that Anita Sarkeesian did not actually play the game. But anyways, in the game, the game character Bayonetta has guns attached to her feet, and she spreads her legs doing pretty suggestive poses to shoot people using her feet guns. And she complains about this, saying that it's oppressive towards women. And oh, it puts her sexuality on display for everybody. However, what she doesn't want to acknowledge is that Bayonetta was designed by a woman, and a feminist no less. And the reason for her character being this way is sexual liberation. You know, when Madonna spread her legs on stage in front of a huge crowd, nobody started screaming, "Oh, that's oppressive towards women!" No. People cheered her on. People said, like, "Yeah, down with oppression, sexual liberation." But when Bayonetta does it in a video game where it's not even real, then that's oppressive towards women, because reasons, I guess. So, I've given you plenty of cases where Anita Sarkeesian is a liar, a hypocrite, and tons of other things, and why you should not trust her. Now, like I said, she's wrong about close to every game she talks about, and if you were a gamer, you'd know this. This is why she receives a lot of criticism, and it's not even only men, as she likes to claim. She likes to claim that, oh, we're all just virgins living in our parents' basement, basically. And, well, as you can see by the window behind me, I'm not in a basement. And also, not a virgin. But not all her haters are men. It's important to point that out. Some of the people who dislike her are women. And also, I shouldn't use the term hater. I've already made a video about that, but hater is used to somebody who hates without a reason. We have a reason. But some of the people who hate her are women. And some of them are feminists. Because they don't like her either, because she's lying and she's portraying feminism in a really, really bad way. So why is she constantly claiming that, oh, it's just men, you know, it's just sexist, misogynistic men? No. Gamers in general hate her. And it's not because she's a woman, because we hated Jack Thompson for the exact same reason we hate her. Most people don't even know who Jack Thompson is, but Jack Thompson was a lawyer, well, is a lawyer, who time and time again tried to go after video games for being too violent, and they cause actual violence, despite the fact that as popularity of video games has gone up, violence has gone down. So, how is video games causing violence if violence is going down? But he's a liar. He lies about video games. He misrepresents video games, just like Anita Sarkeesian is doing. We hate him for the exact same reason as we hate Anita. It's not about sexism. It's about we don't like liars. But I want to end with saying a few things. Well, not really end. There's a few more things, but there are some sexists and misogynists on the internet and in the gaming community. I'm not going to lie about it. But they don't go after Anita Sarkeesian. They do go after her because she's a woman, but it's not because of that she goes after gaming. Because, well, let's look at Jacqueline Glenn. There's fake nude photos of Jacqueline Glenn. They like to bring up that, like, oh, look, they're making fake nude photos of Anita Sarkeesian. Yeah, there's fake nude photos of Jacqueline Glenn. And trade chaps. I'm sure that's gaming too, but she's not a feminist. And like I said, Jacqueline Glenn, she's neither a gamer nor a feminist. And there's fake nude photos of her. The internet is full of people like this. That's not a secret. You know, and it's not only men who are being sexist on the internet. Look at all the sexists on Tumblr who hate all white men because reasons, I guess. Because some men have been mean and bad people, then all of them must be. Guilt by association, but why not? You know, sexists are all over the internet. But I do not support people who just write comments like, oh, you're a fucking cow, you should just shut the fuck up, la 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 la. No, don't just say that. Show people why she's wrong. Do what I just did. I've been talking for 12 minutes now, telling people why she is wrong. That's what you need to do. Don't just write hateful things to her. And especially, don't send her rape threats or death threats, as some people have done. Now, she recently received on Twitter from the user KDobs, which is or Kevin Dobson, and he sent a bunch of death threats to her and said something about her. He knows where she lives and everything. And she showed a screenshot of this. However, there's a few things fishy. For example, all the tweets were made within like 3 minutes of each other, and the latest tweet was made 12 seconds after she took the screenshot. No, wait, 12 seconds before, sorry. Before she took the screenshot. And as some people pointed out, 12 seconds is about the time it takes to log out of Twitter, which indicates the fact that she could have wrote all those herself, just logged out and screenshotted. Because how the fuck did she find his account without being logged in? And also, she went to Twitter going like, oh, I've received death threats, the authorities have been notified, and I'm staying at their friend's house. Now, if you actually contact the authorities because you have received death threats, then the first thing they will tell you is, don't respond. Don't tip him off. Don't do anything to indicate that we're after him. Because if you do, then he will just go into hiding and we will never find him. However, the first thing Anita Sarkeesian did is go to Twitter and tell him the authorities have been notified. So, part of me, I mean, I'm not saying this is the case. There's no definite evidence to prove this, but it is my suspicion that she faked out death threats. Because now they have every magazine, every gaming magazine, even Scandinavian magazines like Game Reactor, writes about like, oh, look, she's getting death threats. If you want to support her, click this link to donate. It just looks like a fucking publicity stunt in my eyes. Especially when they plaster the whole like, oh, if you want to support her, you can donate to her. All over the page. But I want to say this. If you're actually sending death threats or rape threats or just generally mean comments towards her without any kind of case to show that why she's wrong, stop. You're not helping anybody. And according to a lot of Anita Sarkeesian fans and Anita Sarkeesian herself, you're discrediting the actual criticism she was receiving. People constantly bring up that, oh, look at that. How's that not about sexism? Well, that is about sexism, but that doesn't mean all criticism is about sexism. So, to end this video, is Anita Sarkeesian being attacked because she's a woman? No. Is she being attacked because she's a feminist? No. Is she being attacked specifically because she's talking bad about games? No. She's being attacked because she lies about games, because she misrepresents games, because she has an impossible standard, and generally, because she's a liar. As I've stated, she lies. And I don't like liars, and I fucking hate hypocrites. But that was this video. So, if you still think that she is just about sexism and misogyny, go watch Thunderfoot's videos, because he's made tons and tons and tons of videos about her. And stop saying things like, oh, Thunderfoot's just a douchebag, and then accuse me of not having an open mind to Anita Sarkeesian's videos. That is fucking hypocritical. But anyways, if you want to see more of me, subscribe. I'm going to make more videos in this series, not necessarily in a row, but more will come. And rate this video with a thumb up, thumb down. Leave a comment to tell what you think about Anita Sarkeesian. Do you think I'm wrong or whatever? Just leave a comment and tell me. I want a discussion. Also, it's worth mentioning that Anita Sarkeesian does not want discussion, despite the fact that she claims it. She removes the comments and the ratings. She claims that they're too threatening to her. However, I don't see how ratings can be threatening. So, since I don't have ratings to the comments table, rate and leave a comment in the comment section. And look me up on Tumblr at NerdyGuyRanting.tumblr.com, and I am the Nerdy Guy, and you just watched Nerdy Guy Rant. Bye!